Welcome to the Real Mama Pod.
I'm your host, Devon.
And I'm your host, Kendra.
We are real moms.
Sharing real experiences. The things people don't tell you.
Hey, mama, hey.
Hey, Mama, hey.
How you doing, friend?
I'm feeling golden today.
You look golden. Living my life like it's golden.
Shout out to Jill. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Hey, mama, hey.
Right.
Well, if this is your first time listening, I'm your host, Devon.
And I'm your host, Kendra.
Welcome to the Real Mama Pod.
Welcome.
So usually we open up with a beautiful review from our listeners, but you guys are in trouble today.
Ooh,
okay?
Not trouble.
Y'all done made mama mad. No, but seriously, we need your reviews. We told y'all before, we are trying to chart. We are trying to get our podcast out there to more mamas. And you guys, y'all started off good. I don't know what happened. So, you know,
They got comfortable.
We like this show is free. We put a lot of work into it, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Yes, tears and blood. So
Sweat.
And sweat. So we just need y'all to write a review. And it doesn't have to be a 10-page review. Give us the 5 stars and say something nice. Okay. So we want to get on the algorithm for Apple Podcasts. But wherever you stream your podcast, please write us a review. But if you're on Apple, please do that. It really helps us.
Yeah.
So y'all want to make me happy, which I know y'all do. Y'all want to let me down. Go ahead and write that review. The text messages are great. Copy and paste that and put in a review. The DMs are great. Copy and paste that, put in a review. That's all you got to do. Like, seriously. So we love y'all. We need this. And from a good space. I'm not fussing for real because y'all know I be fussing. But we need the reviews.
We appreciate it.
We appreciate it.
In all honesty, we would really appreciate that.
Yeah. So
shout out to the reviewers.
Yes, okay. The people who wrote the reviews, the writers. Anyways.
Shout out. Speaking of people and their support of the Real Mama Pod, we have a guest today.
Yes, we do.
Who has really shown his support of us, and we show our support in him and all the great work that he's doing. We have Lavar, who is so let me just give some context here. Right. So we always have conversations with our guests before we start recording, and it's just all the things. We talk about all the things. And he shared that he received an award because of the impact that he is doing within his community, our community. And I'm not going to share what Lavar does because I want him to talk about the great work that he's doing.
Yes, absolutely.
But we have Lavar here. And Lavar, thank you for being present. Thank you for the work that you're about to tell our listeners that you do because it is very necessary and commendable. And I'm going to just go ahead and shift things over to you, Lavar. Okay. Because we got to get into this good work. So tell us about yourself.
All right. My name is Lavar Jacobs. Senior. I'm the founder of Not Just October, which is a nonprofit organization devoted to breast cancer awareness, aid, research, and education all year, and not just during the month of October. I started this organization in 2014 because my mom passed away from breast cancer in 2009. And me and my mom, we were like this. Like, I wish I could do it even more. Like, we were
tight,
super tight. All the way to the moment that when my mom passed away and took her last breath, I was right next to her. We shared so much. We would sit around and watch her soap operas. I can tell you about General Hospital, All My Children, all that type stuff, because we were always together. And she just instilled so much into me, and we had so many good times. My mom was a quilter, and she would cross stitch and things like that. So she taught me how to cross stitch. I used to make little cross stitch projects, and we just spent so much time together. So after my mom passed away, I made it my duty to make a difference in the world for other women who are battling breast cancer, because I can see and I know what we went through and what other women are currently going through. So I'm like, okay, if a woman needs her grass cut, let's make sure that Not Just October can get out there and cut her grass. If a woman needs groceries, let's make sure that she doesn't have to worry about groceries. The main reason that I started this organization is because I understand when women are battling, it's the toughest time in life. Like, there's no battle harder than illness. I won't say just breast cancer, but any illness.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that they had absolutely no stress. Anything that could possibly stress them out, call me for it, even if it's outside of the box. your kid might be struggling in school because you can't get up and do work with them when you're going through chemotherapy and radiation. Let me find a tutor. Let me be there for you. Your husband, if for some reason he needs his hair cut, let me know. We can help with that too. I've gotten so close with the families because this is just my life's work, my passion, and I made it the same passion for everyone around me. If you're around me in my life, not just October is up there in your life too.
Wow.
Just to make my mom happy, and that's really my purpose in life.
And that's what you're doing.
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
You
That's
are
the
doing
plan.
that work because, whew, that you are a blessing to so many.
Appreciate it.
And my prayer is that you continue, that God blesses you in so many ways, that you can bless all the men and women who are affected by breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Men, yeah, I'm happy you said that. It's a thing that affects men also, and June is Men's Health Month. So I'm gonna make sure that we put out things about men possibly getting breast cancer also. So
That's good. I love that. So thank you for sharing about what you're doing. We are definitely on your team too.
Yeah.
Ever since we've met you, you've been like a ray of sunshine for us too, and just providing knowledge to community. So we're always open to resharing your content because it's good. And a lot of people are not talking about it in prior months to October. It's just like October is highlighted and that's it. It goes away.
Right.
Yeah.
And breast cancer is affecting families year round. It's not just one isolated month. So I do appreciate the things that you're doing. So kind of shifting over to fatherhood, because we don't have a lot of male guests. We do have some, but not as many as moms.
Okay.
So we always want to get the dad's perspective, right? So briefly tell us about your journey to fatherhood, because you have a story behind that as well. So
Okay.
please share with us.
So my entrance into fatherhood started when I first met my wife. She had just got custody of her 3-year-old little cousin. So his name is Zamarion, and that's my son. That's my first son.
Yeah.
So he's 15 now, so that gives you a scope of how long it's been. But my wife and I, we wanted to have our own children, and it was a difficult process. We just couldn't get pregnant for some reason. So we started doing these things called washings. You know, it's a very interesting situation having to go to a fertility doctor, and they want to look at your sperm and things like that. It was very interesting. And we eventually did IVF, which didn't work. And that's a very expensive process. So we were really heartbroken. I remember we were at church the year that we did IVF for New Year's Eve, and we were just sitting there thinking about maybe we aren't going to have a kid. I started to think that maybe God wants my full mission to be to raise Zamarion. So, I got to trust the Lord at all times. So I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. And not too long after that, my wife, I guess she started to feel certain symptoms and things. So I remember one day I was coming home from work and they were rushing me. They kept calling my phone, and I'm like, I'm coming, I'm coming. And we used to get these boxes from Vistaprint. They were for subscription boxes.
Yeah.
And I always had like different Not Just October items in them. So they're like, you got one of your boxes. And I opened the box, and it's a Not Just October onesie, which I had made in the past for friends. So I pull out the onesie, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I already had one of those. Okay. And there's a video, and you can hear my wife say, "You're so stupid." I'm like, what do you mean I'm so stupid? And then I noticed the pregnancy test in the thing, and it had a date on it. I'm like, are you serious? Like, probably one of the best days of my life. Like, so we found out that we were having a baby, and then from that moment when she told me, now my thoughts shift to, please be healthy.
Yeah.
Please go full term. Please please God, don't tease me like this. Don't, no miscarriages or anything like that. Let's just have this baby. Found out we were having a boy. We had a gender reveal with all my friends, and I'm a legacy person. I'm trying to build a legacy.
Yeah.
I want a legacy. So, it was no question. That's Lavar Jr. And LJ, that's my miracle baby. So people probably question why I'm so close with him, because he's like a walking like testament of God in my life.
Amen.
Because he was a miracle. That's my miracle baby. So LJ came healthy, 10 fingers, 10 toes, everything's good. And I was okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were done. And then one day they're rushing me home from work again. I should have known. Like maybe when they rush me home from work, that means my wife is pregnant. But they're rushing me home from work, and I get there, and there's all these papers on our garage. I documented that too. There's all these papers on my garage, and I'm looking, and at first I'm like, what did I do? Why is all these papers on the garage? And I'm reading it, and it says, "Thank you for ruining my hot girl summer. Baby number 2 on the way." Once again, I'm like, are you serious? This is crazy. And my guy, he's a good guy. So I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a girl. This is gonna be my baby.
Right.
So we didn't even have the big gender reveal this time, because my wife, she just knew it was a girl.
Right.
Off top, she knew it was a girl. But we ended up having a smaller gender reveal.
Okay.
And it was a girl. That's my baby. And we had girl names and boy names when we got pregnant with Lavar. So we already had a girl named Delaney. Delaney Siobhan Jacobs. And that's the boss of the house.
Yeah.
She doesn't play no games. She's just awesome, and I'm just very blessed to have 3 amazing, intelligent kids. They mean a lot to me, and they just make us a well-rounded family. No more kids, we're done.
Yeah.
But I enjoy the ones that we have a lot. I love them so much. They sleep with me every night. This morning it was funny. My wife went to work, and Delaney was laying there, and she had her arm on my on my head like this. And my wife was walking out. I'm like, man, she thinks she my girl or something. Like,
She is.
but yeah, I really love my kids a
My
lot.
dad tells me that too. Like, all right, I have one wife. I'm like, and me.
Right.
So it's 2 times for you. So in your journey, you share that you and your wife went through IVF.
Okay.
So for our listeners who may not know what that process is and what it looks like, do you mind sharing?
Yeah, no problem. It's in vitro fertilization. I'm probably not well versed in it as a doctor or an intelligent woman like you guys. But, basically, they take my sperm and my wife's eggs out of our body. They insert the sperm into the egg, and then they put the egg back into my wife, and hopefully the egg goes up to the uterus and the fallopian tubes or something like that, and the baby begins, but it didn't happen. And it's interesting because the doctor that was doing this for us, he ended up getting a lawsuit against him a couple years later, because he put somebody else's baby in somebody else. Yeah, it was
Wow.
crazy. And me and my wife laugh all the time, like, I'm happy he didn't do that to us. Like, that would be wild to have somebody else's baby.
Yeah.
Because it would have been smoke in the city.
Smoke in the city.
In the country. Oh my gosh.
And so I want to go back to when you talked about, because a lot of times when women are experiencing infertility issues, a lot of times the focus is just on them. But it sounds like your doctor or you guys' doctor kind of put the focus on you too. Testing your sperm to make sure whatever the counts and all that stuff. Because we did an interview previously where the infertility was coming from the husband, and they didn't find out till like 2-3 years later. Like, it was a long time of them trying. It was actually the husband. So can you walk us through that? Like, how did that make you feel? What did that look like for you?
It made me sometimes, it's I'm comfortable enough to understand when I feel like something isn't right, or I'm less of a man. Like, I know who I am. I'm him. But sometimes I'm able to be like, dang, like, I hope something isn't wrong with me.
Right.
And then the doctor starts asking questions like, do you keep your cell phone close in your pocket all the time and stuff like that? And he's like, the count it's not that low, but it could be higher and things like that. So he was a very straightforward doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not mean, but to me, he got on my nerves a lot, because he would just be like, I don't know, man. Y'all better pray or something.
Oh wow.
It's just not. It's not looking good. I
Wow.
guess you're just gonna have to pray.
So no bedside manner.
Yeah, no bedside manner. Just a straight shooter. He's a great guy. I seen him since then.
Is
And
that the doctor that got sued, or this is a
yeah, the
different
doctor that got sued.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I seen him since then, and told him about the baby and
Mhm.
everything, and he was happy for us and stuff. I
Okay.
think I was actually with LJ when I saw him. So
Okay.
Wow.
that was pretty
Like-
exciting.
Were you all able to conceive? You conceived him naturally?
Yes,
Bless
yes, it was definitely
Mhm.
natural. And then we're sitting around thinking like, man, we should just save that money, trusted God just a little bit
Listen,
more.
We
But
have friends that happen.
but I tell my wife, maybe like when they was up in there, they
Yeah.
moved something over to make things right.
Way.
So
Absolutely.
And it's always God timing.
yep,
Mhm.
It's always God timing.
Every
definitely.
So,
every time.
so going back to your organization,
Mhm.
Not just October, when we talk about supporting women with breast cancer or men, how does your organization educate men on how to be supportive to women who may be experiencing this diagnosis or this disease? And then how do you educate men to be supportive to other men who may be going through this?
Mhm.
Well, being supportive to the woman in your life that might be going through this, you just always have to uplift them
Mhm.
because during this time period, a woman might lose all of her hair. She might lose her eyebrows, fingernails might be falling off, and things like that. So you really have to just be there and make sure that they feel beautiful and feel whole and really feel like a woman because it's very possible that a woman may lose one of her breasts, or both of her breasts. So that right there, a woman might not feel like she's all of a woman. So you just have to just be supportive, always be there, be a shoulder to cry on. Sometimes you might cry too. Um, and the same with men, you can be there, make sure that they just feel good and uplift them.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I'm more of a person where everyone you encounter, you should be nice to. Like in the grocery stores, everywhere, because you never know what a person is going through.
Right.
You never know what is happening behind the scenes in their life. Even a person like me, sorry to bring myself back up, but back to the like IVF and the baby and all that, nobody knew this except my close friends.
Yeah.
So I'm out here, I'm still running Not Just October, really in the world, really building up women, making women happy, doing all this while I'm solo battling with something that's devastating, the fact that I'm probably not gonna have a baby ever. Like, and that really weighed on me. But I have a position in life that I know I gotta pour into other people, and people pour into me also, but I'm more of a pourer.
Yeah, you're a giver.
Yeah, more of a giver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. So you talked about just the relationships that you have with all three of your children, and your organization and the whole purpose behind it and the impact that you wanted to have on our community. So how do you engage your children in your calling?
Well, my oldest son, he participates in some of my content on social media and stuff, and he's been there from the moment that I started Not Just October. At all the events, he knows what his dad does, and he wears the apparel to school and talks about it. I actually went to speak to one of his classes before,
Wow.
and I don't know, he might have been embarrassed. I showed him my Not Just October music video I made. I was rapping, but but he really helps me out a lot. And my baby boy, in Ohio, before we moved to Georgia, I had a center. It's called the Kim Jacobs Breast Cancer Resource Center, and he was always there with me. And he says, "Daddy Center." I can show him a picture of my mom. He calls my mom grandma. He understands. He knows what Not Just October is, and that we have these events and everything. He might not understand cancer and all of that, but he knows what daddy does. He wears the apparel. And my daughter, she's getting to know. She will say things like Daddy Center or October, stuff like that. And I was so happy. Yesterday I had on a shirt with my mom's picture on it. And I said, Lainey, who is this? She said, Grandma. That made my day. Like, too. My mom is resonating in this world, even though she's not here physically. nobody's ever gonna forget about her.
Absolutely. She's living through you.
Mm-hmm.
So is your hope for the kids to kind of take over the organization later?
Definitely.
Sit down to them.
I don't know if Zamarian is as passionate about that that he will want to take that over.
Yeah.
But you know, if it becomes the biggest breast cancer organization in the entire world, which I want it to,
Yeah.
does he have a choice? And I'm sure he'll want to. And Lavar, I think he will want to. All my kids have an outgoing personality similar to mine, but you know, I want them to have their own vision and goals for their lives. But that would be great. I tell this is it. It may be morbid, but I tell people all the time, like, look, if anything ever happened to me, not just October better not end. Somebody better keep this going, or I'm haunting all y'all. Like,
Hey,
That's
because
hilarious.
it's good work and it needs to. I love the name of your organization.
appreciate it.
Like it's so clever. We should not only be talking about breast cancer in October, and it's really catchy. Like
Thank you, thank you.
I love it. I do. So
For your organization, like in the next 10 years, right? Because you said you don't want it to end. Where do you see yourself
Well, I
in the
still
organization as well?
I see myself still living in Georgia. I love it here. It's home now. And I see myself having a Kim Jacobs Breast Cancer Center in multiple states. We shut down the one in Ohio. Unfortunately, it just got to the point where the expenses were astronomical. And through my organization, a lot of people want to see me, unfortunately. So I have to figure out how to get it where people want to support my organization, even if I'm not there.
yeah.
But I'm so vocal and so on the front lines of it, it's actually difficult. But here in Atlanta, I'm definitely going to be opening a Kim Jacobs Breast Cancer Resource Center, build relationships with the hospitals, fantastic podcasters and stuff like that. Just to get the word out. And the next 10 years, I think we will be an organization that assists women all over the entire United States. I pretty much can guarantee that as long as
We're gonna claim that.
Yeah, we're gonna claim that for sure in multiple centers. So how do you go about actually like building your center? Or what was your process like when you were in Ohio?
So I'm very spontaneous. My well, she started as my publicist. Now she's like the chief operating officer of Not Just October. Her and my wife, they know that I'm very spontaneous. And this was in 2020, right after COVID. When COVID was, it was, I think the December of 2020. I'm just online, and I've always had the vision of the Kim Jacobs Breast Cancer Resource Center. And I like to go forward. I like the next, what's next? Let's go. So I was on the internet. I found a building, and it looked nice online. So, you know, we got a showing of it, went to see it, and the rent was more than I probably should have even got into at the time, honestly. But when when I want something, I'm very adamant about it, and I'm ready to make any sacrifice necessary to make it happen. So I'm like, let's do it. Signed the lease, paid everything I had to, started decorating in it, and it was great. It's still, you know, it's still a beacon in the community, and Not Just October. It's still active in the community in Ohio. It's just not brick and mortar.
Yeah.
But yeah, here I'm just still figuring out the landscape of Georgia and deciding where do we want to put our roots down for the organization, whether it's in Atlanta or on the outskirts. But when I figure that out, I'm definitely going to find a space, and we're definitely going to have a Kim Jacobs Breast Cancer Resource Center.
Okay, so is this something you fund?
Yeah.
Solely you? Are you getting resources from other places, sponsors? Like, what does that look like?
We get donations from private, like people. We get grants. Sometimes grants are very hard to get.
They are.
We get sponsors when we have certain events.
Okay.
And then it's just me.
Wow.
I'm ready to do whatever I have to.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
And if anyone wants to partner with you, how should they connect with you?
Call me, write me on Instagram, come to my house. I don't care. Find me. I just want to work with so many people. As long as there's synergy there and you have a positive outlook on things, I'm ready to work. I enjoy working with other people because it kind of takes the burden off of just one person. So I'm always looking to build with other people. I have a situation coming up where I might have a partnership with a hospital here in Georgia. I'm just waiting to sign the paperwork and get everything together. I'm looking forward to that so much because it's just taking small steps to possibly grow the organization even more and help more women. That's the goal. I need more money to help more women. It's simple.
How does your wife support you in this space?
She's just there for me. All the time. She gasses me up. I need that. Just let me know that I'm doing well. I appreciate that. And she's helped so much financially. My wife's a nurse, and she was like traveling. She was doing traveling nursing, making those travel nursing dollars, and just helping run everything here. And she's just always there for me. And not to say anybody needs a good woman to live a good life, but I think it's a cheat code. If you have a good woman in your life as a man, life is going to be good for sure.
All right, now say that. So, when we talk or think through just your passion behind starting this organization, and your mom going through the breast cancer and then all of the treatments that she had to, can you give some perspective, at least from you as a man, but also seeing your mom? Like, this is your mom. You said you and your mom were very close. Like, how did that make you feel? How did you want to support her? How did you support her? Were there communities and villages, families? Like, how did this look from your lens? Do you have siblings that also supported? Like, what did this whole process and perspective look like for you?
Well, watching my mom go through this, my mom was very strong, and she was very protective of me. I have an older brother also. She was very protective of us. So she didn't really talk to us about like her diagnosis. We just knew she had breast cancer. And it came to a point where I went to my mom's house. I was staying with friends at the time. I went to my mom's house and she was just really out of it. I could tell it just wasn't good. So I called my brother and he was like, we should call 911. Just let her go to the hospital because she just seemed like she hadn't moved off the couch in days and eating bad. She just wasn't doing well. So we went to the hospital, and that was the first time that I ever met her doctor. And he told us that she probably would have 6 months to live because the cancer had spread to her brain. And we didn't know that. I had no idea. So that was devastating. Like, and then she went from there to the nursing home. That was in November when the doctor told us that. And I remember someone telling me, like, this stuff could last forever. Don't not live your life. This could be something that goes on for the next 10 years. Just make sure you live your life. Because I was calling off work, doing everything I could to spend time with my mom. Probably neglecting my responsibilities, but me and my mom were so close, I always wanted to be there for her. So that was November. Fast forward to February, my mom died. And she was never weak. I never remember her being weak. I only remember one time, and I can laugh about it because me and my mom had that relationship. We were always there. She wanted me to get her some ice cream when she was in the nursing home. And she was sitting there, and she was like, because I didn't want to go get the ice cream. And she said, "Lavar, I could die." Like, that's how she looked. But she was just saying that just to get a rise out of me to go get me to get this ice cream. But she was very strong all the way up until the last moments. And I remember the night before she passed away, we were at the hospital and we were saying "I love you," and we were trying to get her to say it back, but she couldn't talk that well. But she ended up saying it, and that was her last words. Because when we got back the next morning, she couldn't talk or do anything, and she died at around noon. But yeah, just being there for her. I have a brother. He was there for her. She has sisters that were there for her, and I have a father also. And they were separated at the time when she passed away, but her journey on the breast cancer diagnosis and all of that. He was there. So it was just important to be there for her. And now I'm in this space, a young Black man. Nobody expects this to be me.
Right.
It's a space that's led by all white women.
Yeah.
So when a young Black, charismatic, extra handsome, no, but when I walk in the rooms, it's really not what they expect.
Right.
Yeah.
And I really take all that in, and I embrace this role that I've taken in this breast cancer world, because I'm given a different perspective. I'm given a man's perspective. I'm given a Black man's perspective. I'm given this perspective because my mom passed away from this. I just feel like I add a lot of value in every room that I'm in, and so I'm just trying to change the world. Breast cancer is just one arm of what I want to do. I care about the youth. I care about health and wellness. I just want to make a positive impact, and I want to give my mom a park. It's going to be Kim Jacobs Park. I'm getting a statue. And we're just gonna this is legacy. That's why I got a junior.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this.
Yeah.
I love that. So, and that was like one of my follow-up questions was being a male in this realm that for a disease that primarily affects women. We know it affects men too, but if you look at the comparison, it affects women more. So has there been a time where it's tough for you to navigate spaces as a male because you're a male advocating for women?
No, I haven't really ran into any difficulties. It might be a little shock value when it's me.
Yeah.
But other than that, most people have been very welcoming, and it's rare. So not just October is something that people like to attach themselves to because it's different. It's not cookie cutter. I think outside of the box, and I'm really willing to do whatever I have to do to make a difference. So I've been very embraced in this space, and I enjoy it.
That's good to know.
Better embrace you. The
better.
real mamas slide through.
Come get them.
I
Just give us
appreciate
the name.
y'all. I need y'all. Thank you.
And the world needs you, really.
Appreciate
seriously. Because it's not every day we see men advocating for us.
For women.
Or just, sometimes may be overwhelmed or intimidated. Seems like in society, women are more vocal about things, especially for things that impact us. It's very rare to see men advocating for women for things that don't really impact them necessarily. So there needs to be more spaces where men can actually advocate for women about different things.
And feel comfortable.
And have a safe space and be able to get resources for things that people don't think about. I would never think about my grass if I'm suffering from an illness, but to have a support system for things that you provide, I think is phenomenal. So.
You may be opening the window or gate or door for another male who has desires to support women and their missions and advocating for them, and they're like, I don't know how I would be received. You are doing work that supports women and their journeys through an illness that impacts many women and men, but predominantly women.
Right.
And you've given them a space to say, hey, it's okay for you to advocate for a cause that needs advocacy. So shout out to you for being the pioneer.
Yeah, being a pioneer.
Hey, women are like, okay, women are the fruit of the earth. Like, you guys, women are just so amazing. From being able to go through childbirth, just from all the things, you guys are so much stronger than men. Like, and I'm okay with admitting that. Like, I see my wife work a full day, be able to clean up so good. I don't clean up that good. It's like, how'd you do that so fast and so efficiently? Being able to cook way better than me. But just everything good with the kids. You guys just are everything. I promise. Women are more important than men in this world. We're great, but you guys are awesome. And I appreciate you women and all women. Like,
keep the world spinning.
Crazy. For sure. I know you guys just work through fatigue, work through problems. You guys have all these hormonal issues and things like that. And you just work through them, and and really make everything work. Like I'm very much I talk about it all the time. I'm very much in awe of women. And another thing I'm in awe of is single moms. Like, cause I can only imagine. Like I get tired just starting the day with my kids, ending the day with my kids. I could only imagine having to do everything by myself.
Yeah.
So shout out to the single mom too.
Shout out. They are.
I'm not a single mom, but I had my son and my niece and nephew last week, all by myself. And I just had a newfound love and respect for single moms because I was exhausted.
Yeah.
I was tired. I didn't want to be bothered with nobody. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to love on the single mamas because that was a hard week.
Yeah,
it was so hard. It was so hard. I was texting Devon. I said, girl, I'm about to throw all these kids out the window, mine included. It was so hot.
When my wife was out traveling, she was doing travel nursing for 26 weeks, and it was me, Zamaria, and LJ at the house, and everything was on me. It's like you go to sleep at the end of the night and kind of not dread waking up alive, but just dread waking up the next morning and having to do it all again. And that's when I was working my job, so it's like, that's when I first got on my fitness journey. So I'm waking up at 5 a.m., going to the gym, taking the kids to daycare, going to work, making sure Zamarian gets to school on time, getting off work, picking up the kids, making sure they eat, getting them in bed. Then finally I'm laying down, and then it's time to do it all over again. It was a long time, but it worked out.
Yeah, it always does. That's a whole nother episode.
Yes, it is.
I could talk. I got plenty of questions and answers for that one.
Yeah, definitely. Being a military spouse, like definitely.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I had a few stints of where I had to do 6 months alone or 9 months alone, stuff like that with 2 small kids. But yeah, single mamas, listen, I have so much respect.
Bless you
for y'all. I love y'all.
But we love you.
Yes. So speaking of that, I think it's time for some mama juice because talking about that just wore me out.
I'm gonna tell you, I definitely had me some cocktails every night. I had them kids. I said, "Where is my cocktail?" Because Jesus, I had to call on Mary and Joseph and everybody. That was a rough week. It was so rough.
So traumatized.
Yeah, I am still traumatized. But I love my baby and I love my niece and nephew. But I did have plenty of mama juice that day. But mama juice. So mama juice is my favorite segment of the show.
Okay.
And we might remix it a little bit. It might be daddy juice today. We have a father or father juice, whatever we want to call it, papa juice, whatever. Papa juice. But mama juice is we curate drinks for our guests. Every episode has a new mama juice. And our juice today was inspired by you, Mr. Lavar, and all the great work that you're doing. Now, we asked Lavar what he likes. Lavar said he liked tequila or wine. I said, well, okay, we're going to make it do what it do. So we chose tequila. And we are in our spring and summer months. So we made a drink we're in Georgia. So it's a peach lemonade type of drink with some tequila. And let me run down the ingredients for y'all. So it has 1 ounce of peach juice. It has 1.5 ounces of tequila. And it also has fresh lemon juice. 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lemon juice. And we have 1/2 ounce of agave in here. So it's like a margarita lemonade type of vibe. So we don't have lime, we have lemon.
It's fresh.
It's really good. So if you are on a patio or somebody's backyard barbecue or something and you're looking for a cocktail, this is a good one to have.
Yeah.
And if you do not indulge in alcoholic beverages, totally fine. Just take out the tequila and replace it with a soda water or a club soda.
Yeah.
And it's good.
Tasty.
Yeah. So, and it's called Not Your Average Fighter.
It's called daddy juice.
It's daddy's juice.
Not your average fighter is good.
Yeah, not your average fighter. And it's because you are fighting a cause And you are not the average person that is fighting this cause. You have a unique perspective, a unique lens. You are a unique individual that is fighting a cause that needs fighting. So Devon actually names your drink, not the average
Thank
fighter.
you.
It's so fitting.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you for what you do. So our next segment is Mama's Corner, and this is my favorite segment because we get to connect with our guests further and our listeners. And sometimes they write in, and sometimes we're reflective. And I think it's important to be reflective for this one. So I'm going to ask you an additional question. And so you mentioned earlier how your wife supports your dream, and sometimes I feel like wives don't get enough credit, especially when things are like in the baby stages and how much we have to put up, whether it's financially, whether it's time, whether it's just thinking about the logistics of things. Because you said you were spontaneous, and like most men, when they want something, they want it right then and there. It's got to happen. And it may not be like all the logistical stuff. And sometimes it's like, okay, let's step back. How are we actually going to make this happen? Because we have to go through steps. So walk us through that of really depending on your wife to help you make your dream come to fruition, because it sounds like you give her a lot of credit for that, and which I commend you for, because sometimes in this social media world we get like, oh well, I want my man to have it all together and he better not need me for nothing, or he better hold it, he better take care of me, he better fly me out. And sometimes that's not always to have a successful partnership. Sometimes as a wife you have to hold it together for your spouse to be successful. And we don't always hear that. We just hear about being kept and soft. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not shading nobody for that. I'm just saying sometimes there's levels to that. So
So on social media, there's that 50-50 debate every week.
Yeah.
So
it is every week.
I'm not against the 50-50. Me and my wife, we have a relationship where sometimes my wife is making thousands upon thousands. Sometimes I'm making thousands. Like we work together so well, and it's never been a transactional type of relationship. We just mesh well. What's hers is mine, and what's mine is hers, and we work very well. So when I first started Not Just October, I'll give you like a preface. I was fresh off of being a party promoter. That was my like main thing that I would do outside of my job, promote parties in clubs and things like that in Akron. And I had to 100% change my social image to run Not Just October, because one, who wants the party promoter with the breast cancer organization? Like that doesn't work. Or who wants to donate to me if I'm popping bottles on the gram every day? Like so stuff like that I had to just exit. And I was done with party promoting anyway. So when I first started the organization, I was going to make my wife really the face of the organization. That was my initial plan. But as things move forward a little bit, I noticed that's not going to work, because as passionate as my wife is about what I do, it's just not the same. I just had to step out there and do it. But from day one, when it comes to time, I spend a lot of time at, whether it's networking events or I'm out making sure that women are getting their grass cut, or even having to fly to different cities that might want me to come speak or have an event with me and things like that. And her just being like, okay, go. Like, no, there's never any pushback. So just her being there for me, whether it's mentally, spiritually, all that, and praying for me, like things like that really mean so much when you're building something. I don't think I would be who I am without her. I might be better, but no, just kidding. I don't I wouldn't be. Like, my wife is like so important to my life overall. Like she's just awesome. She's amazing. I'm blessed. I put a caption or a picture I posted, like I went to get an award, but I came with a trophy. Like, she's a trophy wife. Like like
So cute.
she's just awesome to me, and she's always there. Um she has ideas. She'll talk to women. A large part of Not Just October is communicating with a lot of women. My phone rings with women who might need certain services pretty much all the time. And it's me who's answering these calls. People are so surprised when they go on Not Just October's website and there's a phone number on there and they call it and it's me.
Yeah.
Like they're expecting some type of secretary or something. Nah, it's me.
Yeah.
Or I'll be like, I have an office manager, and then I have an intake manager. I'm gonna have one of them call you. But if they're not available, my wife will talk to someone and just facilitate things.
Right.
Especially in Akron, Ohio, because I'm all the way in Georgia. So if a woman needs her grass cut, now I have to contact the landscaping company, get him the money to make sure that he can go over there and do it. And it's just a lot of back and forth and traveling and dealing with so many different personalities, and my wife just keeps me evenly keeled and just always ready.
Shout out to your wife.
Yes.
Shout out to my wife.
Yes, shout out to your wife. You say Akron, you a Bron fan?
Definitely, 100%.
All right, wrap the episode.
I was about to say he's the greatest.
No, see, that's a whole nother podcast episode.
Right. I have no idea what you're talking about. But
LeBron.
LeBron. I thought you said Browns.
Bron.
Okay, Braun. Okay. Oh, LeBron. Okay, got it. Okay, cool. Not really a sports type of gal, but I do know who LeBron is.
I hope so.
So if you ever want to write into Mama's Corner, please feel free to do so. I'm always checking those emails. You can email us at mama@therealmamapod.com. But this was a great episode.
It was.
I cannot wait to partner and do more things with you and support you and
be out in the community with
you. Doing the dirty work.
Let's go.
Yes, we'll put our boots on the ground.
So yes, thank you so much for joining us. This was great. If it's anything you want to plug or people want to find you, ask questions, donate. If you have a donate link, because you can donate year round, not just in October, please drop all that information below.
Okay, I can be found at Not Just October, at Lavar D Jacobs. Both of those are Instagram. At Lavar Jacobs on Twitter. At Not Just October on Twitter. My email address is lavar.jacobs@notjustoctober.org. My phone number 330-760-9956. Our website is www.notjustoctober.org. And I encourage people to donate for sure, because it might be June, but there's still a woman right this second guaranteed at chemotherapy. There's a woman right now at radiation. There's a woman right now nursing her wounds because she got burnt at radiation yesterday. All of this is going on right this moment. It's not October, it's June, but it's still important. So help us make a difference. Help us change the world, and I greatly appreciate all of you.
That was awesome. Thank you. Y'all donate. And I just want to say this too. Thank you so much for the work that you do. And I would truly like to dedicate this episode to my dear friend, Julie Gray, who passed away from cancer about 2 weeks ago. Not breast cancer, but praying for her kids. And cancer just affects so many people. So many types of people, so many good people. So organizations like this really have a soft place in my heart. So thank you for doing the work, and we can't wait to partner.
Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to it too. We can do anything. We're going to have something really big for Mother's Day next year.
Okay, we're going to partner, because I know we talked about it, but we're going to do something next year.
Keep us in the loop.
For sure.
Well, until next time, mamas and daddies.
Bye.